Hi, this is David Jenkins, Town Council member from Ward 4, and your host for this Ward 4 video update shown on YouTube, as well as the host for my podcast, La Plata Ward 4 Update. So I just wanted to talk briefly today about one of my pet peeves and pet concerns about walkability, street design, and pedestrian safety here in La Plata, but also in our surrounding areas in the county. So I just wanted to briefly kind of highlight some interesting street designs and lack of pedestrian safety that are currently in effect in La Plata and Charles County. So this first photograph is taken this past Saturday, April the 4th, at the opening of the La Plata Farmers Market. This is the entrance. I'm looking toward Talbot Avenue, looking down where cars would drive in, and you see to the left the parking lot, and then to the right where the stop sign is, that's where the actual farmers market is. So folks can park on the left side there of the screen or the photograph, and then they have to walk across this street, which is really an access point from Talbot Road into the county commissioner or county office building complex and the back side of the courthouse. But you can see there is no crosswalk along that main street. There's one to the right, but that's just a main to a parking lot that goes behind the courthouse. But this main entrance where you see the car coming in, there is no crosswalk. I try to, and I may have another picture which I'll go to shortly, but I just wanted to point this out, that particularly on Saturdays, now that the farmers market is open, this has a significant number of pedestrians who will cross this street with cars entering or going out up and down this particular road. And then again, there's no crosswalk, so folks have to be careful when they look. Cars have to pay attention, so there's people crossing. There are people with kids, carriages. They may be walking across from the farmers market with different packages. So I found this rather dubious and frankly at times unsafe, because again there's traffic in both directions entering this particular area into the parking areas while there's pedestrians crossing. So I just again, the whole theme here is to really talk about how we really, as a county and a town, we don't necessarily think about pedestrian safety, and how our road design really doesn't support that. So let me flip to the next picture. And again, that's just another view. Now I'm standing where the farmers market would be, which would be to the right of the picture. And you can see the roadway and the other roadway. The roadway in the forefront, people can't drive through there because it goes into the farmers market. But the far roadway where you see the pedestrian crossing sign, that's the main entrance to the parking lot, and you see a couple across the street with their dog and walking on the sidewalk. And again, it's very fascinating and frustrating that you see a pedestrian sign, but there is no pedestrian crossing there. Again, that's just kind of odd, and actually that's the pedestrian sign for the parking lot. The actual but again, there's no pedestrian crossing for folks who want to go from the parking lot where that car is parked, cross the street and go to the farmers market. So I just give you another vantage point of look at this, what I see as a potentially dangerous situation, not only during Saturdays during the Plata's farmers market, but even during a workday where folks are going to the courthouse, which is to the left, or in the background there, the county office building. Let me turn to another, again, a picture, and you can really see I'm standing across the street from the farmers market, which you see there, and you can see there's a side entrance to a limited parking area, which is kind of interesting. That has a fading crosswalk there, but not where the crosswalk where people cross the street to go to the farmers market. You do see a stop bar there, that white line to the there's a stop bar to the right of the edge of the screen, because just beyond there's a stop sign. So folks will stop after people are entering the street and to go to the farmer's market. So there really is no crosswalk there. Again, I'm just trying to give you different angles of what this looks like. And again, an unsafe condition even during daylight hours. Now I want to turn to another one. Now this is a view of St. Charles Parkway, which is to the right, and that's looking north toward Waldorf. And this part of St. Charles Parkway is a 4-lane highway, for want of a better word. This particular portion, the median goes away, so there's no U-turns, or there's no way for traffic to turn left. It's basically 2 lanes in each direction, north and south. And this is a sidewalk that comes from a new development, part of St. Charles, a townhouse and single-family community that's under construction. So they've built a sidewalk along this side of St. Charles Parkway, which is fine. The other side of St. Charles Parkway, where the trees are, the other side, that has a probably 8 to 9 foot, what I would call a hiker-biker trail. That's much larger than this particular sidewalk that my cursor is pointing to now. So let me go to the next, and you'll really see how frustrating this particular supposedly amenity is. Let me go to the next. So now this is looking in the other direction. Again, St. Charles Parkway is to the left there, and that's looking westbound, as if you were going to go and intersect with Radio Station Road up the top of the hill. So again, this is the same sidewalk looking from the other direction. It comes down and it ends right at that guardrail. And as you can see, this portion of St. Charles Parkway is 2 lanes in that direction and 2 lanes in the other direction. So there's no median between these 2 lanes of traffic going in each direction. So there's physically no way to cross the street there. So, but the sidewalk ends. So I kind of understand why it ends there, but why shouldn't it end further up where there's a median break and there's an intersection? But even at the intersection, there is no crosswalk there today. Now, whether that's going to be a future traffic signal, I'm not sure. I'll have to research that. And I tried to get a picture of that, but I didn't do that. But if you go back to the left, Western St. Charles Parkway then has a median. So there's a big median break where cars can enter this particular site, or cross it and go left or go right. So there is a place where supposedly pedestrians could cross, but unfortunately today there is no crosswalk, there's no markings. Again, a very dangerous situation, and this area is under construction and will continue to grow and develop. Again, this is a close-up of the same shot now, so you can see where the sidewalk literally ends at the guardrail. It doesn't go anyplace, even though it's obvious why is because you see the barrier there. There is no way to cross the street there. You'd have to go back toward this way where my cursor's going and go to a median break where there's enough room for turning movements by cars to enter the site across the street, and on this side to go left or right. But again, there is no median break. There is no crosswalk there. I'm sorry, there is a median break, but there's no crosswalk. There's no signage for pedestrians, even though on the other side where my cursor is, there is probably an 8 to 10 foot wide existing hiker-biker trail that a lot of people use to walk and use their bicycles. In fact, I've used that on many occasions when it gets warmer. So I just wanted to point that out from a different perspective. And then I'm just going to show you one more shot, again showing it looking the other direction, and you see where it ends. And I point these out not to blame per se the county or the town, but to stress how important it is that we have the right street design, road design, but we incorporate pedestrian and cycling and other safety aspects. And we just don't seem to do that here. And again, this is a new development, so it's still under construction to the left of the trees there where my cursor is. And again, there is no visibility, there's no signage up at top of the hill there where my cursor is now. There's nothing there that says for any future pedestrian crossing. Now, again, as I said earlier, there may in fact be a traffic signal there someday, and I'd have to find that out, and that may be subject to as traffic increases on both sides of St. Charles Parkway, it may necessitate a traffic signal or maybe even a flashing yellow to slow traffic down so there can be turning movements. But I would think at some point there would be pedestrian signage, pedestrian crossing signs and stuff and indicators in the pavement as this area continues to grow. And what's really interesting, if you go further up this portion of St. Charles Parkway and you crest the hill and it turns slightly to the left, there's a new county school under construction. And again, there's a big, huge median break there for traffic to enter and leave the site. And again, maybe this is in the future, so maybe I'm premature. But again, I don't see any pedestrian signage. I don't see any pedestrian crosswalk markings on St. Charles Parkway. And this is going to be a school that's under construction, probably be complete within the next 2 years. So maybe there's time for the county or the Board of Education to put the proper signage and infrastructure for pedestrian and cycling to encourage residents in the area to walk to school rather than to get in a car and drive there. So I just wanted to point that out. And then another very interesting opportunity, or at least another circumstance, is along Radio Station Road. And I thought I had a picture, but I didn't get that, but I'll do that later. But Radio Station Road is a county road. It connects on the southern end with Maryland 488, where there is a signal there now, and then it goes north and connects with St. Charles Parkway. Now, along this stretch of Radio Station Road, it's a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. You have La Plata High School, and then further up and behind La Plata is Mary Matula Elementary. Further up on the right, you have the Board of Education headquarters. Further up, you have Laurel Springs, which is a county regional park. And I forgot to mention further to the south at the bend, excuse me, it is Lake Tillman, which is a town park. So you have all these public facilities and employment areas. You do have pretty wide shoulders. Again, the speed limit is 40 miles an hour. There are bypass lanes for folks to get around the turning movements into La Plata High School and also up to the Board of Ed and also to the Mary Matula Elementary School. But despite all these public facilities and employment areas, again, there is no crosswalks, there are no markings, and yet here's a high school, and they have soccer fields and lacrosse fields and all kinds of other activities, but there are only shoulders, which are great, and hopefully this will be fixed in the near future. Excuse me, as the town is well underway to developing a radio station walkway that would extend from downtown La Plata along Maryland 488, would then go in front of Agricopia, the subdivision, and then go up one side of Radio Station Road, and then go up and connect with the existing walkway along St. Charles Parkway. So hopefully that's going to happen within the next 18 months to 2 years. The town has received significant funding support for the design and construction from the Maryland State Highway Administration. And thanks to the county, they've also chipped in some funds so we have a good design or access point for the walkway into Laurel Springs. So it's appreciated that the county has contributed to help us get that started. But again, I've lived in La Plata for now since 1986, and I've never seen any crosswalk, any pedestrian signage or crosswalks to help protect people or children or bikers or walkers along Radio Station Road. I find that, frankly, rather appalling, but hopefully that'll be somewhat fixed in the near future. And again, my point here is to point out these in future. I will then go out and look at other examples of how I think there needs to be more focus on road design, street design, to do a couple of things. One is to slow traffic down, and also provide the right infrastructure and safety improvements for the bikers and pedestrians because that is and will continue to be a increasing mode of transportation. It also is needed because we have a continuing death rate of fatalities and accidents, not only in the county but across the country over the last number of years, where many pedestrians and cyclists are killed because of bad road design and speeding. And that's a major contribution to accidents is unsafe street design, speeding, and drivers are being distracted by phones and all the other gadgets that are within cars. So you'll hear more about this in the near future. I just wanted to come back with a brief video to point out some glaring issues about pedestrian safety that I think the town and our community needs to invest more funds in, even though I know right now it's a pretty tough time for budget. But I strongly believe that we need to invest this now and in the future. Again, thanks for watching. I'll follow up with some additional videos along this issue. Again, I welcome any comments or questions at my email from the town at the Town of La Plata, djenkins@townlaplata.org. Thanks again and enjoy the spring weather.